might have an idea. So I might use both of these. So I think the first step is I want to actually move all this code over here. So this is going to be the part that actually looks for the correct index. Maybe. Okay. So the problem is, like, the whole thing I was going to do here, I was going to pull stuff off and then put it back on. Then I'll just keep on getting the same thing back. So it doesn't really work to do this even. What I was thinking about doing was taking this, putting it on here, triggering this guy to take everything from here, put it down here, which would then be in the correct order that we want. But I still don't have a good way of then taking, like, processing these values and then putting them someplace. And at least with the current code I have, I don't think I have enough room to take all the values and throw them down here and then use them coming back this direction. Okay, I will be back again. All right, so I might have an idea. So here's what I'm thinking, is that instead of trying to send it back and forth through here, I'm originally going to put the stuff on here and move, then with these I'm going to move everything over to here, and I think it will reverse the order. And then this guy will only be looking at this for answers, but then dumping them over here, and these guys will just automatically move it back over. that might work. So what I need to do is in here, I have done, which is move 0 down. So that just tells this thing to actually trigger. We don't need to jump back to start anymore. So then what I want to do is, I was originally going to listen down for a trigger event, but I think I'm actually just going to do this. Here, this isn't happy with me. This. So move right down. So it's just actually just going to keep on going. So once it's sent, and we also don't need this top one here, this initial 0, and we do want it to send the 0 over to the right. So go like that. So this thing will be filled up with stuff in the wrong order. Then it will send a 0 saying that this is done. I don't even know if I have to worry about sending over that signal, because this thing's going to be looking for a certain index, and it'll halt until there's actually stuff to read. So I think I can just, I don't think I have to worry about this. So done is just go to L, and then I can get rid of done. So it'll be like that. If it's 0, then you're actually done filling it up, and now go to mode 2, which is just take stuff from here and move it down. This guy's job is actually just to move up, down, move up, right. So his whole job is just to take stuff from here, dump it onto this. So I think this guy will be in the correct order. Maybe. This guy we don't need to worry about, because that was initially the where I was sending a signal across. Again, I don't need to worry about this. And then here, this thing doesn't need to worry about that at all. It's just going to be take a signal, grab it, move it down. Because that will get over here, and then until this stuff has stuff to read, it'll just wait anyway. So I think we don't need that loop. So we're going to take a request from up, move it over here, and then it'll eventually get an answer, and then it moves down, move up, down. Maybe. Okay, so now let's adjust this code. So this code needs to move the thing to the right into your hand, save it. Then the inner loop is move down into your hand, swap it. If the index we have is greater than 0, don't send it yet. Which is jumps to here, which is subtract the index, which is in our hand. Swap back. So now we have the answer in our hand, and we want to move that up. Yes. It's going to move back up here, which is actually going to move it all the way back down. But in the reverse order. If the number we have in our hand is 0, it means we're done with the loop. We've hit the terminating thing. So then we want to go to L1, which is all the way up here. Which is move right into our hand. So we need to... We never send it. So I'll have to put that somewhere. If it's 0... If it's 0, we assume we've already gotten the answer, I guess. So we've already sent it over. Okay, that makes sense. If not, then it jumps to L2, which is here. That says move the thing down, etc. Okay. If our index is 0, it skips this. Swaps it back, so we have our answer in our hand. We move our answer to the right. And then we continue on with our old stuff, which is subtracting and so on. Move our answer to the right and then swap. Okay. Now, I need to, no, I'm already, I guess, as, well, I'm checking stuff, I'm moving stuff up here and it's moving back down, so this might work. Or not. So we'll put this here. This breakpoint here, and then sort of watch it. So we have, number comes in. So right now there's no numbers down there. Eventually it's going to get to this next point. So we'll step forward a little bit. It's waiting here. It has the number 0. So it's just going to wait. Because there's nothing down below. So the top thing is going to fill in. It's going to fill in the top section. But it's in the... it's sort of in the reverse order that we want. And then this code over here is about to change over to phase 2. So now it's here. It's taking the values and then putting them in the reverse order down there. Okay, so it's sent to 0. So I wasn't watching this part here. This thing got a value, which was the 0. Okay. So then I guess what we actually want is the 0 to be on the other side. Okay, all right, so you're right. So we will move 0 right. And then we want to not put the 0 on the other side. So let's see if this works. So we'll fill everything up. All right, so this number is almost here, which is going to then tell this thing, grab it. So we need to watch this thing, this code. So it gets in, does a swap, sees the number 0. It's not greater than that, so it's going to continue down. It swaps back. I have a number in my hand. I want to move that hand to the right. It's about to get here, which is actually not what we want at all. Yeah, so I guess I have to wait till the whole stack moves before I look at it. Okay. Interesting. Okay. We can do that. So when this thing gets a value, I'm going to look at it. Well, I'm going to move it over either way. Then I'm going to look at it. If it is greater than 0, go back to the start. Otherwise, then it should move I mean, it doesn't really matter. -1 up. I'll do -1 just so I can make sure I see it. So that's sending a signal up. This thing is going to do a similar thing, although it's going to move, take the value from above, put it in your hand, take the value, send it down. If that number is greater than 0, go back to the thing. If it's not, then we want to send -1 to the right. Okay. So that's sending the signal this way. Over here, we want to, this is the main loop. So we get what we want from the right. We save it. And then we're going to move left to nil. So what that's saying is it's going to stay on this line until this thing indicates you're good to go. So I think that then that'll move the whole stack down here first, and then come back and then tell this thing, okay, you're ready to go. Then it will do its loop, and maybe it'll be right. So play. So we're at the same thing. It populates the top. And then in theory, it won't, this code won't activate until this whole thing is filled back up. So it's possible we might actually move the 0 back to where we were before. We'll see. Yeah, we're going to want the 0 in the other spot. Okay. So now we want this code here. Okay, so let's try that again. So it goes along, goes along, goes along. It has it all on there in the wrong order. And then I take all of it. Wait, what? Oh, the 0. Yeah, because the 0... So I guess I have to have the 0 first. Up here. Huh. Okay, I guess if I have a 0 on both sides. So I'll leave this part where it's going to have it on both sides. And then here, I want to ignore the first one. And then this one's going to look, it's going to add 1 to the index. That's sloppy. But maybe that'll work. Okay, so if we... Well, they're not going to give me a number beyond the index. Does it help me at all? Yeah, I mean, because the 0, it's like, yeah. Right. So I need to take everything here and move it down. So that part's fine. Do I want the 0 at the beginning or the end? It kind of needs to be both. I mean, what I could do is, in this loop, for the actual start, I can put a 0 in first. Because here we want it to be not the first thing we read. We want it to just be like normal. So then this time around it's going to be, what do you think? Let me run this. Play. So it's going to put it in the actual order it is here. Then when it's reading it back out, I guess the first thing it reads is the 0. Yeah. Okay. So we do want it here, I guess. So that's going to give me a 0 at the end of the reading going this direction. And what we want is not the 0 this direction. So move this, we're going to move that below. So there won't be a 0 at the beginning of the thing as it's moving this direction. But then what do we have over here? We're going to have a 0 first? No. Yeah, 0 would be read first. So what we want is that if it's 0, so take the thing. If the number is 0, we don't want it. So then we move back to the main loop. So we're actually going to have an outer loop here, which does something. We have an inner loop here. And then this here is going to loop to that. Let me think about this. So it's going to come through. Once I get the 0, I don't want to put the 0 on. So the main first part of the loop is actually preload in the 0. So then now there's a 0 on the end of it, which is the first thing I put on. And then I'm going to move up over or into our hand. If it is 0, we're done. So we actually want to get to here. So if it is 0, we want to go. So send the signal up to go. If it's not, move the thing to the right and then loop back to that. So we send the go, and then there's this. So we don't want to do that right away. We want to wait until there's actually stuff coming back down. And we don't want to move everything down. Well, no, I guess this thing is only, once it gets a 0, it's going to stop. So this thing can keep on moving it down. No, it can't, because these stupid stacks, the way they work. So this thing needs to... This thing, once it gets up here, it needs to wait for a junk signal to say, so this thing's going to have a signal coming down to say, start moving stuff.